Hi, and welcome to Three Questions With. Got my buddy Steve O'Connor with us from Evergreen Growth Systems. Hi, Steve. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Just living the dream, my friend. So, Steve, I'm going to jump right in with you. Tell us about the business. What do you do?
Okay, what do I do? It's sometimes difficult to describe, but let me give it a shot.
All right.
So I work with consulting firms, and I help them go from a tech stack that is kind of thrown together, not very well organized, and turn it into something that's automated and fully integrated into their business. So that's what I do at a high level.
I like that because we were joking a little bit before the show. I find we all have different programs we use, and a lot of them don't talk to each other. You're like, well, Steve, I got the data on this system, but I need it to somehow magically appear on this system. And, we don't think out, how things connect when we purchase the next product. So you can kind of guide people on that to make it be a little more seamless.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a number of different tools that you can use. Most software that you have has what's called an API, which allows it to connect to other softwares. There are tools, I won't start throwing out names because they won't mean anything to anybody, but there are other tools that you can use that make it easier to work with the API. So there's all kinds of ways to connect your tools together. And just depending on your level of tech savvy, I can either walk you through it or I can help you actually do it, as a done for you kind of service.
So I want to go even one step further back, and that's
Okay.
creating the software in the first place. Because
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
funny, like I'm a old school guy. I use like OneNote now. That's like a fancy thing for me. I've been using Excel for years. I just have all my notes in Excel or Word, and a little awkward to try to find something from time to time. So if someone is looking to purchase software to start doing something, that to me seems like when they should be talking to you to go, okay, where are you going in the future? If you want to use Excel, Kevin, God bless you. That will work for the first couple of days. But when you start to get 1,000 people in your database, you're probably going to wish you had something a little fancier. So you can help
Yeah.
people back.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've run into many cases. So one is the case where people are thinking ahead, like you're talking about, which is the right way to approach it. And in that situation, I can definitely, give some recommendations, help them figure out, what makes sense in their situation. But I do often run into the case of the person with, the spreadsheet that is way too overloaded and they need to kind of recover from that. So whether you're, just starting out and you're like, all right, I need to get this set up right, or you are in a situation where you're like, all right, this is not going to work for very much longer. I just kind of walk through how you do business and then figure out what makes sense for you in terms of what to put together.
Well, what I've seen is people have a list of their contacts, and maybe they have email addresses, but they forgot to add phone numbers.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because I just emailed Steve. Well, this time I want to call him because I have something important. I can't wait for him to read the email. Do you have his number now? Because we didn't think far enough ahead. What am I going to do with this data? So make sure I collect everything I need versus, Steve, you're kidding me. You want me to go through 1,000 contacts and put all the phone numbers in? Seriously,
right,
I
right,
don't want to do that. So
yeah.
it's the bigger picture of thinking where we're going before we build it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. In a situation like that, that's unfortunate because then you do have to go back and
Yeah.
recollect all that information. So yeah, if you have the wherewithal to actually think ahead, that is absolutely the best approach. But I have certainly seen many situations where people have to go back and recover some of that data, and it's not fun. So yes,
That's
absolutely.
that's where I think it makes sense to talk to someone like you that we can, talk about my business, what are my information needs, and then you could suggest a program. Because even to me, that's so overwhelming. I see posts on social media, hey, what are y'all using for CRM? And then you look and there's 37 companies being suggested. You're like, okay, I don't think that was helpful, Steve. Because no one's going
Yeah.
to take the time to look at them, or even cost basis. Oh yeah, this one's amazing if you have $1,000 a month. And,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, and you don't need the whatever term, the Mercedes, whatever you want to use. You kind of need something a little bit lower. So being able to just consult on that would make sense to me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I am one that definitely not eager to recommend the Mercedes because in this case, a lot of people, and I'll go ahead and throw out some names like HubSpot, Salesforce. A lot of companies or small businesses don't need that level of CRM. And in fact, you can actually get a lot of the same functionality in other softwares that are much cheaper and work well, just as well, if not better. So that's the kind of thing. Definitely, if you're in that situation and you want to figure out, well, what makes sense for me, both from a cost perspective and from a functionality perspective, that's something that I could definitely help with because I see a lot of people just run down that road of, well, everyone else is using X, so I guess I need that. And
Right.
X is going to cost you literally a couple of $1,000s a month if you want to do, everything that you need to do in your business. And that's
Yep.
a little bit much if unless you have a very specific need for that software, which
Sure.
very few people do,
Yep.
then it's really not necessary.
So, Steve, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more, my friend?
Easiest way is to shoot me an email, steve@evergreengrowthsystems.com. Another good way is to just hop on my website. You can always contact me there, evergreengrowthsystems.com. Or you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm sure there are lots of Steve O'Connors on there, but I'm probably the only one that looks like this. So, so Steve,
Amazing. Awesome. Steve, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call to the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
yeah, absolutely.